could video chat and ooVoo with any artist, dead or alive, you can pick their brain, who would it be?
Janelle Monae.
Really?
Yeah.
And what would you ask?
You know, I would just talk to her about her influences and about, you know, being a brown woman in this industry and what ultimately, because I feel like she wants to express something. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing traditional about what she's doing. Mm-hmm. So I would ask her, what is it at the pit of her soul? What is it that you want to express? Because I love the way she does it. You know, she's not like, she doesn't really care about, well, it seems like she doesn't really care about, you know, being on this person's record and that person's record and like she has her own thing that she's doing, and I think it's very interesting.
Very fearless.
Very fearless. Very fearless. And I love her style and the way she expresses herself. So probably ooVoo with her.
Janelle Monae.
Definitely.
Okay, so Lasty Moore wants to know, are you dating? You said you're single. You said you're single, but dating.
I go on dates. You know, I go on dates. I have friends. You know, I don't know what to call them other than friends, because it starts with a friendship. You know what I mean? But I have friends, and I definitely go on dates.
Okay. So Sharon wants to know, how can I make it in the music industry, and how do I get noticed?
How do you get noticed? I mean, you know, there's YouTube, there's, you know, all these things. There's Instagram. There's so many different platforms where you express yourself now, Sharon. So that's how you can get noticed. You know, I mean, look at what Justin Bieber did, and a lot of other artists are, you know, finding themselves a platform through social media, like you were talking about earlier.
Right.
What was the second part of that question, though?
The first one was, how can I make it in the music world, and how do I get noticed?
And making it in the music world, once you get in, you know what? Experience is the best teacher. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's important to just take notes as you go along the journey, and making sure you have a great team.
Yes.
And making sure you have a solid counsel. You know, that could be your own counsel that you create in your subconscious, but whatever it is, something that you can go back to so that you make sure you stay on track and stay focused, and, you know, don't make it your everything. Make sure you have a life outside of the business too. It's important. Right.
And I would add to just be you, and to make sure to still have integrity in what you do.
The most important thing is to keep God first.
Yes.
Forgot that. How can I forget that?
Yes, keep God first. Okay, so Kimberly Peterson wants to know, who would you like to collaborate with?
Definitely Janelle Monae. Mm-hmm. I've always been a huge fan of Beyonce. You know, like, that's gonna be forever. You know, she's like on the top of my list as a female artist. You know what? There's a new artist by the name of Victoria Monet. Mm-hmm. And she's based in LA now, and she's amazing to me. Amazing writer. She has a very distinctive sound. She's actually on one of my songs on my album called Never Enough. And so she's somebody I definitely would like to collaborate with in the future. Yeah, for sure. She's dope.
Victoria Monet.
Victoria Monet.
Okay, I'm
yeah, she's dope.
EVB wants to know, who's your inspiration?
My inspiration? My grandmother was my first inspiration. She was my first inspiration. She took me to church every Sunday, and that's where I learned that I had soul. You know, that I had soul. And she inspired me, you know, just to really be a solid person, you know, to be honest, you know, work hard. You know, I saw her work 3 jobs while, you know, taking care of family, and, like, you know, she would still have a smile on her face, and she was very humble, you know, and I carried that with me. So she was the first person to inspire me. But musically, James Brown, Boyz II Men, Joe, R. Kelly, Michael Jackson.
Of course.
So many people.
Hey, so Neon Trees wants to know, how was your childhood?
My childhood, when I think back about it, man, my childhood was great. You know, I had a very well-rounded childhood. You know, a lot of different experiences. I don't think anybody's childhood is perfect, you know, but I'm appreciative of all the things that I learned from my family, my grandmother, how strong she was, you know, the ups and downs that I had with my mom, but she still managed to make sure that I was put in a position where I could, you know, capitalize off my talent, you know, even through the things that, you know, that she's been through. You know, being in different parts of Baltimore, I've lived in the hood, in the gutter, but I've also lived in a, you know, decent neighborhood as well, you know, a middle class neighborhood. Like, so I've had a little bit of everything, you know. I had a very well-rounded childhood.
Good. So Dominique Amore wants to know, why did you decide to cut your braids?
It was just time. It was time, you know. And then plus, like, traveling and getting my hair braided all the time.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I was 16, you know, 17, and a lot of the girls that used to braid my hair back home, they couldn't travel, you know. And then some of the women didn't have passports, so I would have to get my hair braided in Australia by somebody who didn't really know how to braid hair, and then have, you know. So it was just like, it got to the point where I was just like, you know what, I had, you know, I had it long enough, 4 or 5 years, time to get rid of them.
Okay.
You know, I was, you know, just evolution, evolving.
I like that.
Right.
Cool. Well, that was it then. All your social media
Those
questions.
are great questions. Send me more. I'm going to go on Twitter and answer some more questions.
At Mario Soul Truth.
At Mario Soul Truth. Absolutely.
Nicky G, we're out.
We out of here.
You ready?